sends this question to me, and it reads, does your partner's past matter? The short answer is yes and no. Now, before I go into the long answer, I just want to say everything I'm going to say is my opinion, my thoughts. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to know a whole lot about this kind of stuff. So take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I'm just a girl on the internet giving her opinion. Now moving on. So I would say no, your partner's past does not matter. In my opinion, I think that your partner's past may or may not matter depending on what it is, depending on whether it has an impact on your future or whatever is going to happen in your future. Now, in some situations, certain things are deal breakers for some people, right? And it's important to know what might be a deal breaker for your partner. And if you have something like that in your past, I think it's necessary to disclose it and find out if the person is willing or able to make compromises, because you don't want something like that to just creep up on your, like, on the next person in a relationship. It becomes like, what else are you hiding? And I just feel like in the beginning of relationships, in the first couple of months or whatever timeline you're using, it's good to know what things are deal breakers for you guys, even if you don't make it personal, like you don't talk about necessarily what happened in your past, but more of in general. So you have a fair idea of what kinds of things are deal breakers for people. And then from then, you know whether to disclose certain things or not. Because one thing I know is, let's say you've had several relationships. You cannot keep disclosing all of that information to each one of those people. That's a little too many people knowing your business, right? So if this person is someone you think you might have a future with, and you think that whatever happened in your past might have an effect on your future, you might want to disclose something like that. On the other hand, if it's something that you have moved on from, it has probably little to no bearing on your future relationship, you don't really have to disclose this. Like, it's what it is. Sometimes disclosing certain things just leads to more problems, and there's always problems, right? So it's up to you to weigh the importance of whatever it is you're thinking about disclosing to your partner. Now, as the partner who information is being disclosed to, the person on the other side, I would say, again, it still comes down to what are your deal breakers. Everyone has a different set of values, different things that are deal breakers for them. For some people, it doesn't matter what you did in your past. Whatever happened, that's not their problem. Their problem is more like, okay, this is where we are now, and how are we moving forward? That's what is important to them. So, I say getting to know the people, or getting to know people, you're definitely not going to disclose everything all at once, but as time goes on, you see what is important for you to disclose and what isn't. Also, I think that sometimes certain things, especially I should say negative situations specifically, come back to bite us. And if you're in a serious relationship with someone and this something negative that happened in the past, it could be a traumatic situation, right? And it led you to have certain triggers and things like that. I think it's important to disclose something like that, just because it helps the other person to know how to love you, how to deal with you, and to not to take your triggers seriously. Because some people are triggered by certain things, and even though they might be doing the work to heal, healing is not linear. It doesn't mean that something that happened 20 years ago cannot be a trigger for you. It can still be. So sometimes people just need to know what are triggers and what are not triggers, and how just your viewpoints on certain things to know how to relate with you, basically. So in situations like that, that's definitely important to disclose. Just, you cannot keep your partner in the dark. Like, you say you want to be together or whatever, whether it's long-term or short-term, honestly, that's up to you. But my point is, if you're in commitment with someone or some kind of commitment with the person, you should actually be committed, and there should be space for vulnerability. Again, you do not have to disclose everything. Some things are better left unsaid. But if these are things that will affect how you relate with each other and your future, definitely your past does matter. So it's up to both people to create a space where they can be honest with each other without judgments. I mean, when I say without judgments, I feel weird just because we're humans and we love to pass judgment. But in any case, try to be as non-judgmental as possible. Again, this is just my point of view, okay? If you have whatever in your past you don't want to disclose it, up to you. If you feel like there's deal breakers in your partner's past that you probably don't want to hear, I don't know what your situation is. All these things always depends on the people involved and the situation they are in. So you don't just make a blanket statement like you always have to disclose your past. You don't owe that to anyone to do that. You just have to know what situation you're in and have the discernment to know what to disclose when. And honestly, that's basically all I have to say. Y'all out, live your lives, and have fun. Thanks, I'm done. Goodbye. By the way, if anyone knows where I can get or can recommend a mic or something to use, I don't want to be using my AirPods anymore for this. So I use my phone to record and I use my AirPods to have better sound quality, but I don't want to use it anymore, okay? I want to use something else, not my AirPods. So if I can get any recommendations on what kind of mic to buy, stuff like that. I did buy a mic, but sound, The sound isolation sounds amazing. Like you hear me like very clear and all of that, but there's this weird static sound that comes along with it, and I just hate it. It's so annoying, and this not only happens while I'm speaking, not like while I'm silent. While I'm speaking, you hear that static like ping thing. I hate it, and so yeah, that's why I'm not using it. But I am taking recommendations for what kinds of mics. Affordable ones only, please. I don't have the budget for like a whole, movie setup. All right, thank you.